fat loss diet. So before we jump in, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping and make sure that when you jump on the live stream here, you say what's up. Let me know you're out there. Let me know you're watching, and let me know where you're watching from. And if you missed part one, you can find it on pretty much all my social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And all you have to do is search Josiah Fitness, go to my YouTube channel, and it's posted there. Or you can go to my Facebook group, facebook.com/Josiah Fitness, and you'll be able to see part one, where we covered three main things. And that is figuring out where you are right now mentally and focusing on adherence, sustainability, making sure that whatever program you're following is sustainable and is something you can stick with long enough to see results. So we are going to jump in now to part two, where we covered calories in part one, but now I want to get a little more detailed. All right, I want to get a little more detailed here about what exactly you need to worry about when it comes to the type of calories that you should be eating. Okay. Because if we have our mindset where it needs to be, we're in a good place mentally where we can actually focus on what we want to accomplish. In this case, losing fat. We don't have a ton of stress. We're not financially struggling. We can actually focus energy on our goals. Then we move into the next step, and that is choosing a process that is going to be sustainable, that you can actually adhere to long enough to see the results you want. And the third part is then understanding that the calorie balance is what is going to dictate weight loss. You must, if you want to lose fat, burn more calories than you take in long enough to lose the fat that your body stores as energy reserves, as emergency funds for, hey, whenever you're in a situation where you need extra energy, right? In this case, when you're losing fat, it's a form of starvation, basically, where you are using your body fat for fuel. And your body's only option when you're burning more calories than you eat is to tap into body fat, okay? But it takes time. So at this point, you might be thinking, well, is all that matters calories, right? As long as I get my calories right, is that all that matters? Well, technically for weight loss, yes, okay? If you just want to lose weight, you don't care where it comes from, then calorie balance is the number one rule. That being said, it's not the only thing that matters, because obviously we want to maintain as much muscle as possible. We want to actually build muscle if possible. We want to look good, perform well, feel our best, have our hormones optimized, our health optimized. So the first thing we need to take a look at is the type of food we're eating. Once we have those calories lined up, then we want to take a look at where are those calories coming from. The main thing that we want to first focus on is protein. Now, most people, when it comes to protein, are on one side of the fence or the other. Either they eat too little or they eat too much. And most people don't get protein right. There's things we want to avoid on both ends of the spectrum. We don't want to eat too little, because then we're not going to have enough to support our muscle growth, our health, things of that nature. And we're probably not going to feel satiated on a diet that's low in protein. Protein fills you up more. It helps cure cravings. It does a lot of things in terms of just keeping you on track. The other side, eating too much, well, then we're just taking too many calories away that could be dictated towards other more variety of foods, okay? Fruits, vegetables, carbs, fats, all that good stuff. So how much protein do we need to eat? Well, obviously it's different for everybody, but a good rule of thumb is if you take your target body weight, let's say in this case you're 250 pounds, and you know that your healthy level of body weight is 190, okay? So that's about 60 pounds of weight loss. That's a lot. So how much protein should you get? Well, as close to about a gram per pound of goal body weight as possible. If you're already super lean, you could probably get away with 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. But just for this purpose of putting together a starting plan, I suggest about a gram per pound of goal body weight. All right. So if, like I said, this is a previous example, if I want to weigh 190 pounds and right now I weigh 250, then I would get about 190 grams of protein per day. Now, if you don't get that much, that's okay. Don't panic. I would probably set a range of about 20 grams. So somewhere between 170 and 190 grams of protein. Now, we want to make sure we're getting good sources of protein too, complete proteins, all right, that have the full range of amino acids that your body needs to actually build and maintain muscle, right? So the thing about certain diets like vegan diets and plant-based diets or vegetarian is that sometimes they don't get enough complete proteins in, all right? And this is important. You can combine protein sources to make sure you get a complete protein intake, but my suggestion is to get at least, if nothing else, a quality protein supplement in your diet, even if you're following a plant-based approach, so that you get complete protein, amino acids and things like that, so that you're not getting some protein that doesn't complete everything you need in terms of muscle growth and muscle recovery and whatnot. So personally, I stick to lean meats, eggs, Greek yogurt, whey protein, sometimes casein protein, fish, protein, healthier protein bars. But typically most of my protein comes from animal sources. Now, it's up to you how you want to get your protein, but like I said, make sure you're getting complete proteins in, and make sure you're getting within that range of protein so that you're taking care of your muscle, your recovery, and your health, all right? So we've covered protein. What's next? Well, this is where we're going to get a little bit murky, all right? I don't want to give you specifics here because this is a very individual process. We're going to talk about where we get our energy from in terms of carbs or fats. Protein has 4 calories per gram. So let's just round it up to 200 grams. Let's say my goal is to get 200 grams of protein. My calories are at 2,400. So if I have 200 grams of protein coming in, that's 800 calories. All right, so now I have 1,600 calories to play with, and I can divide that up however I wish between carbs and fats. Some people prefer a higher fat diet with low carbs. Some people prefer a higher carb diet with low fats. Some people, like myself, prefer right in the middle. I like a good amount of fats, decent amount of carbs, and I just feel and perform my best at that point. You, on the other hand, might be different, and that is okay. Remember, we're talking about things in the order of importance here. If you have your calories mapped out, if you have your protein mapped out, if you're in a good state mentally, and you're picking foods and workouts and things of that nature that are maintainable, that are sustainable, that are things you can adhere to long enough to get the results you want and also keep the results that you get, then the carbs and fats are not as big of a factor. I just have to be honest with you guys. People won't tell you this because they want to sell you on their specific strategy that's magical and all this stuff. But I'll be honest with you, my carbs and fats, they go up or down depending on the day. What doesn't go up or down is my calories, for the most part, keep them pretty stable. My protein is pretty consistent. Those two things stay relatively consistent for the most part, depending on my goals. Trying to lose weight, maintain weight, or gain weight. But the carbs and fats, they can change quite a bit, okay? Sometimes on a day where I'm like, hey, I want to have, some high fat stuff like avocados or salmon or a steak, I'll just lower my carbs to account for the higher fats, okay, to make sure my calories stay in line. Just as an FYI, carbs have 4 calories per gram. Fats have 9 calories per gram. So the more fats you have, the less carbs you're going to be having for sure, okay, because fats are double the amount of calories per gram. Keep that in mind when you're setting up your plan. Food choices, remember, we want to be choosing healthy foods as much as possible, 80 to 90% of the time, choosing one ingredient foods. And I say one ingredient, I don't mean like what the food is made up of in terms of like all the minerals and vitamins and all that stuff. I'm talking about things you can grow, kill, things that don't come in a box, right? Processed food, high sugar stuff. We want to avoid that as much as we can. Not that you can't have some of it, but just keep it to a very minimal amount, okay? That's your best bet. So I'm going to pause here just for a second. And those that are watching, what questions do you have? Let me know. I'm going to make sure I can see the questions here. All right, so let's go here. What What questions do you have for me? Post them now. Write them here as we're going through this. I want to make sure we answer this because this is part 2. Part 3, we're going to talk about meal timing. We're going to talk about how long you need to go to lose the fat that you need to lose. We're going to talk about intermittent fasting. That'll come tomorrow, but I want to make sure you guys understand how to set up your perfect fat loss diet today, talking mostly about protein, carbs, and fats. Understand that you can create pretty much any type of meal plan, okay? As long as it's made up of mostly healthy foods. You know, our clients eat healthy burgers, healthy pizza. They eat French toast. They eat ice cream, but they do it in a way that is healthier, more sustainable, and gets them the results that they want. Alcohol. We didn't talk about alcohol, but I'll quickly address that. Alcohol does have calories. It has energy, but it is a toxin. So it is not a source of something your body can use to actually recover, or in fact, it's the opposite. It's a toxin. It has to get out of the body. The body wants to get rid of it as soon as possible. So alcohol, what I like to do with alcohol is get a ballpark estimate for how many calories I'm getting from alcohol. And all I do if I'm going to drink is I just take away that amount of calories from my day. Super simple. If I have 3 beers and they're each 100 calories, that's 100 calories times 3. That's 300 calories that I'm now not going to eat that day. But I will keep my protein where it needs to be. I just take away 300 calories and I'm still eating my protein goal and then whatever calories I have left after the alcohol. It's really that simple. I know you're probably looking for like a magical hack, but that's it. Happy Life, you said something about beginners. Beginners. It doesn't really, in this case, when it comes to fat loss, everybody's beginning from a certain spot, okay? Calorie deficit works no matter where you're starting from. So your calories need to be lined up based off of you and your specific goals and your metabolism and all that stuff. These rules apply to everybody, okay? Once again, everybody's going to have their own approach. I know some people get great results from high fat, lower carb diets. I know some people get great results from cycling their carbs and fats. Some days higher carbs, some days higher fats, right? I know some people who do great on keto. I know some people who do amazing on really low fat diets, high carb diets. Like I said, there is no secret besides the fact that what's going to work for me may not work for you, but what will definitely work for you is having a calorie deficit, eating enough protein, and then sticking to your workouts long enough to get the fat off. That's what's going to work, okay? Dave, my favorite protein for snacking. Greek yogurt would probably be up there. I do like these little tuna packs. You probably laugh at me because tuna is a very boring food, but I like the low-fat tuna and crackers. I know, it's probably not the healthiest thing, but I do like it because it's quick and easy. I do like Outright protein bars. Shout out to them. I am not sponsored by them at all. Don't get paid to say that, but I do like their protein bars. I do like the ready-to-drink protein shakes too. And I order them off Amazon where there's these like 42-gram protein shakes that you can just throw in the fridge, and I'll grab one on a day where I'm low on protein. There's like minimal carbs, minimal fats, tastes pretty good, low sugar. And I will drink those. That's pretty much it. I don't do a lot of snacking, I will be honest with you. Sometimes I'll mix up some casein protein with some almond milk, and I'll put it in the freezer. It's like it makes a thick paste, and then on top of it, I'll put some whipped cream, some, maybe like a little bit of granola or something. Keep it pretty low calorie, but it's a ton of protein. So Joel asks on Twitter, I intermittent fast, have been for a year. I feel like I need to switch it up. Do you? Suggestions. Joel, intermittent fasting, which we are going to talk about in part 3, but I'll quickly address it here. Intermittent fasting is what I would just consider to be a tool in your toolbox to help you stay adherent to a diet. In this case, scheduling specific times to eat, specific times not to eat. Does it work well? Absolutely. I love fasting. I do it pretty much every day, 12 to 16 hours depending on the day. That 12 to 16 hours definitely includes my sleeping time, okay? So 8 hours of sleep, 12 to 14 hours of fasting, 4 to 6 hours of fasting after I wake up, okay? Do I need to switch it up, or do you need to switch it up? You don't have to. I mean, it's not like your body's going to automatically stop burning fat after a while from intermittent fasting. The calorie deficit is what burns the fat. If you're getting sick of it and you're, hey, I want to try eating breakfast, go for it. Life is one big experiment anyway, so why not give it a shot? Just understand that whatever's going to work is what you're going to be able to stick to long term, all right? On Instagram, hey, Josiah, my question is, how can you up your calorie intake to reach the optimal level? My issue is that I'm not able to eat as much that's required for muscle gain. Do you have any tips? Yeah, of course. Smoothies. You can put together smoothies that are very high calorie using things like peanut butter, protein powder, and almond milk. It's liquid calories, so you don't have to sit there and chew it. Power smoothies are what I call them. They're just jam-packed with calories and protein. And you can put a bunch of stuff in there, fruit, all types of good things to up your calories. That's my number one tip. Schedule a smoothie after or in between meals, okay? What about muscle loss with low reduced calorie intake? Muscle loss can be avoided by having sufficient protein and optimal training using resistance, whether it's your body weight, bands, dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, sandbags, or a combination of all of that, in a well thought out training program that trains your entire body throughout the week. All right. That is how we avoid muscle loss. And we don't go too low in calories, right? We keep a very moderate caloric balance. We don't go into a deficit that is huge. We don't crash diet. We don't do hours and hours and hours of cardio. That's how you lose muscle. But you're not going to lose muscle I shouldn't say you won't, but you won't lose noticeable muscle. In fact, you might gain muscle depending on where you are in your training. If you train optimally, you get enough protein, and you don't try the crazy extreme crap, okay? Hopefully that made sense. Give me a thumbs up, guys and girls. Whoever's watching, let me know if that made sense to you. Wherever you're watching, let me know. Cool. So just as a heads up, as I always do, I'm going to put on a quick just reminder. If you want a full-blown guide on how to get in tip-top shape, okay? And I'm talking everything from how to set up your calories, how to set up your training. Go to lookgoodnaked.co. I have a free guide for you. Just go check it out. Covers everything you need to know. Lookgoodnaked.co and download it for free. Okay, go check it out. Jake says, thoughts on creatine affecting sleep? I don't have any thoughts on that, Jake. I've never seen or heard of anyone experiencing sleep issues using creatine. Now, caffeine, yes, caffeine will disrupt your sleep. Maybe that's what you meant. But I've never, ever, and once again, I'm open to any research you found, but I've never seen anything on creatine affecting sleep. So I don't have any thoughts on that. Sorry, buddy. All right. That is it for me. Please be sure to leave me a quick thought if you enjoyed this, and share this video with your people, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Share it out. Let me know, and download the guide, lookgoodnaked.co. I'll send you more quality emails that'll help you on your path to getting lean and changing your lifestyle permanently. Tomorrow I'll be back with part 3. We'll talk about how to set up your meal timing. We'll talk about fasting. We'll talk about carb and calorie cycling. We'll talk about some cool stuff. Give you a really, really good understanding of some of the tools that you can utilize to make your diet even better. And do not miss it. Same time, same place tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Have a good one. You're welcome. Thanks, Dave. Thanks.